the top stories, Sport Minister says St. Kitts Nevis is ready for CPL 2022. Occupational issues at Immigration Office in St. Lucia leaves travelers stranded, and the head of the UN to meet Putin and Zelensky in peace effort. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Monday, the 25th of April, 2022. I'm Jason Davis. Nationally, Minister of Sport, the Honourable John L. Powell, says the Federation is excited and ready to host matches in the upcoming Hero Caribbean Premier League tournament later this year. St. Kitts and Nevis will host 7 matches between the 30th of August and the 4th of September, with the home team and current champions St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots playing in 4 of those games. In a statement from CPL, Minister Powell was quoted as saying, "The hosting of the CPL in its entirety in 2021 in St. Kitts and Nevis proved a success in every way for our people. Tremendous direct economic gains were made in our economy and to individuals at a difficult time due to the pandemic. Our people were able to receive some much-needed COVID relief socially through the amazing matches, and our very own St. Kitts Nevis Patriots won its first CPL title in the most dramatic style." End quote. Reflecting on the 2021 staging in the Federation, Pete Russell, Hero CPL CEO, said, quote, "We are hugely grateful to the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis, who were fabulous hosts. Warner Park is a fantastic venue, and we are very excited to be back there as the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots get their championship defense underway in front of a home crowd." End quote. The 2022 season will take place in 4 countries: St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, and Guyana, with the final set to take place at Providence on the 30th of September. The Caribbean Association of Medical Technologists, or CASMET St. Kitts and Nevis, along with other medical laboratory professionals in the Federation and around the world, will be observing Medical Laboratory Professionals Recognition Week from April 24 to 30. According to a press release issued by CASMET, this annual celebration serves to honor the critical role and the professional excellence that laboratory professionals provide in the delivery of healthcare to patients. While individual laboratories are celebrating in their own way, at the end of the week, the CASMET group will be making a presentation to their local charity, the Sadler's Elderly Home. The theme for this year's celebration is Laboratory Professionals Get Results, which further emphasizes their commitment as a vital member of the healthcare team. In other news, the St. Kitts Electricity Company Limited, or SCELEC, has announced planned outages this week. They are as follows. On Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., the areas affected will be Lagreet and St. Johnson's Village. On Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., it'll be Ponds Estate, Ponds Extension, and Ponds Pasture. On Thursday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Parsons Ground, and on Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Parsons Housing. SCELEC apologizes for any inconvenience caused by these electricity supply interruptions. Persons who remain without power after the scheduled outages are asked to call 465-2013 or 600 from a mobile phone to report the outage. Moving now to news on the regional scene. Officials in St. Lucia blame air quality issues for the disruptions in the services at the Immigration Department. These disruptions have inconvenienced travelers who are lamenting the lack of communication from Immigration Department officials. More in this NBC Prime report.
I am frustrated, right? I mean, we have to travel.
Natasha and many others say they've had it with the Immigration Department. Service delivery has been at a snail's pace going back several weeks. Customers like Natasha say the delays have caused costly disruptions to their travel plans. Further compounding the inconveniences, according to Natasha, is the lack of communication from Immigration Department officials. Natasha says she's had to make several futile trips to the Immigration Department's Bridge Street offices.
I'm very displeased, right, with the passport office. I have been coming there for the past few days, right, to check on a statement that there is some paperwork that had to be done, and I had to come to collect my passport to find out other information about it. Every time that I've been going to that office for the past few days, they'll be telling me, come back the next day, the following day. Come back the following day, come back the following day. Every single time. Today, this is like the 5th time I come and I see a different date on the door, but it's like come back the following day. I am frustrated, right? I mean, we have to travel.
The Immigration Department is housed in the Lamar building, along with numerous other offices. Sources tell NBC Prime mold has deteriorated the air quality, which has allegedly affected the health of Immigration Department workers.
This is supposed to be in the news. You're supposed to notify persons that, okay, if they so-called say the place has mold, right, then you'll need to locate the people to another place so that the people who is expecting their passports need to get it on time. St. Lucia cannot stop. St. Lucia cannot stop like the flowing because the police station or what the passport office has an issue. No.
Meanwhile, government officials tell NBC Prime the police are expected to issue an official statement on the operations of the Immigration Department. Rihani Isidore, NBC Prime.
In Guyana, the newly formed Hemp Task Force says it's ready to put its shoulders to the wheel as it eagerly anticipates Guyana becoming the envy of the region in the hemp industry. More from Antonio Day.
Hemp cultivation will be a monumental victory in Guyana since the hemp bill is imminent, says Vice Chairman of the Guyana Hemp Industries, Inc., Michael Curtin, in observance of World Hemp Day, observed on Wednesday.
We are also recognizing the inspiring and extensive work done by hemp advocates throughout the length and breadth of Guyana.
Curtin is adamant that with the legislation being passed for the industrial hemp in Guyana, it undoubtedly will so be the talk of the town, as it will be a stimulant in the economy.
Create new industries, build our regional economies where it's planted, and our national economy, and also to help eradicate poverty in the land.
While admitting that the lobby for the legitimacy of industrial hemp proved futile at times, Taver Akro, chairman of the Guyana Hemp Task Force, expressed gratitude to the Ali-led administration for making what was an illusion to become a reality. Chairman of the Guyana Hemp Industries, Inc., Vernon Bedesi, divulged that while awaiting a memorandum of understanding from the government of Guyana concerning the laws surrounding industrial hemp, plans are ongoing to sensitize citizens about the correct techniques in cultivating hemp.
And hopefully we'll do a test pilot project in maybe July where we can advise the citizens of Guyana, whoever wants to plant hemp, what species or how we can grow. Hemp needs to be like a community farming where you can gather a group of farmers or owners of land and work together.
Meanwhile, Ras Ken Hollingsworth, Secretary of the Guyana Hemp Task Force, extended World Hemp Day greetings to all Guyanese and the international diaspora. Also present at the meeting were Horatio Marcus, Mark Halley, and Hansel Govaya, who are executive members of the Guyana Hemp Task Force. For over 1,000 years, the hemp plant, a member of the cannabis family, has played its role in many countries around the world. Hemp, due to its low THC content, does not provide a feeling of euphoria like marijuana. The THC content in marijuana is 30%, while hemp is 0.3%. This is Antonio Day reporting for HEP 90 News.
Internationally, the head of the UN is due to travel to Ukraine on Thursday to meet with President Volodymyr Zelensky. But first, Antonio Guterres will head to Moscow for talks with Russia's Vladimir Putin. Al Jazeera's diplomatic editor James Bays reports from the United Nations.
The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is now going to involve himself directly in an effort to solve the Ukraine war. On Tuesday, he called for a truce over Orthodox Easter, something that Russia has not agreed to. But on the same day, he also sent 2 letters, one to the Russians and the other to the Ukrainians, requesting that he should visit Moscow and Kyiv The first of those trips will now be on Tuesday.
All we have on the agenda is his working lunch and meeting with the foreign minister, and then his reception later on the same day by President Putin. You know, as he said in his letters to both presidents, he hopes to talk about what can be done to bring peace to Ukraine urgently.
Diplomats speaking to me before the Moscow visit was officially confirmed welcomed the Secretary-General's new peace initiative.
Welcome any effort to address this ongoing problem, but I think the big issue is to ensure that the Russians abide by a ceasefire, that they also allow for access to civilians. But any effort to end the carnage is welcome.
We are absolutely delighted to see the Secretary-General step forward. He has been very strong in his remarks to date. We now need to see action. And I think the suggestions that he's put out there in terms of engaging both parties brings the UN into the role that it properly assumes in its responsibility for international peace and security.
Before the start of the war, the Secretary-General had tried to meet President Putin. They were both at the Winter Olympics in China at the same time. Then Russian officials said it wasn't possible to arrange a meeting. Now the Secretary-General finds himself possibly involved in shuttle diplomacy between Moscow and Kiev. Without doubt, this is the most important and probably the most difficult trip of his 5 years in office. James Bayes, Al Jazeera, at the United Nations.
French President Emmanuel Macron won re-election on Sunday, beating far-right candidate Marine Le Pen. However, Macron faces many challenges ahead as he seeks to govern a deeply divided country. Here's more.
French President Emmanuel Macron has pledged to unite France after a decisive victory against the nationalist far right. The country's Interior Ministry predicted the 44-year-old secured a majority with 58.5 to 41.1% of the vote. He praised the electorate who gave him 5 more years at the Élysée Palace.
Finally, I speak to all those who voted for Madame Le Pen, who are disappointed this evening. No, don't boo anybody. I have always asked you not to boo. Because from now, I'm no longer a candidate on one side, but the president of all.
Le Pen conceded defeat, although didn't congratulate Macron. However, the 53-year-old claimed Sunday's election a success after winning more than 12 million votes with 43%. She vowed to continue the political fight and never abandon France.
With more than 43% of the vote, tonight's results is in itself a brilliant victory. Tonight we launched the great electoral battle of the legislative elections. I will lead this battle alongside Jordan Bardella, with all those who had the courage to oppose Emmanuel Macron in the second round. In short, with all those who have the nation at heart.
Macron will now focus on creating a package before the summer to ease the cost of living and the parliamentary elections in June. He is seeking a majority for his centrist grouping.
And now for the weather. Current conditions are cloudy skies. The temperature for today is 28 degrees Celsius or 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are a gentle breeze of 12 miles per hour from the northeast. Seas are moderate with waves of 4 to 5 feet. The weather forecast in St. Kitts and Nevis for today and tonight will be partly cloudy with a 30% or low chance of showers. Sunset today will be at 6:30 p.m., sunrise tomorrow at 5:48 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jason Davis.